right. Now we're ready to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker is very known for being employee number one of Convergys. She is also a motivational speaker, and she is the first Filipino Canfield certified trainer in the Philippines and in Asia. She is a published author with her latest book entitled Career Shift, and she has more than 30 years of work experience in human resource management and in the academia. As the former executive director for talent development of the IBPAP, she managed all human capital related initiatives for IBPAP's Roadmap 2022. Everyone, let's all welcome Ms. Penny Bongato.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Aris, for the introduction. I am very honored to be here again. It's always a pleasure to be here at Talk Push, and Max, finally we did it. And I've been in the recruitment and in the HR industry for a while. I did shift career because I was an engineer by education, and somewhere along the line I moved to HR, and I moved since then after IBPAP, and now I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a coach. I'm a career coach. And I'm doing a lot of other things. So thank you very much for having me over to this wonderful event that you have. And congratulations, so many participants, Aris. Okay, I'll share my screen.
Yep.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, I'll just maximize it. Today I'll talk about technology, the true enabler for the best candidate experience. You know, when I was in one of our companies, when I was at Dell, and then I moved to Logica, one of the things that we always say is to have a positive experience, positive employee experience or positive candidate experience. And I made that a mission statement for my recruitment team in one of the companies that I joined in, to have a uniquely positive candidate experience. And I'll explain to you what that means. So let's go through the slides. This is me. As mentioned, I was employee number one of Convergys, been in the BPO space for quite some time, shifted careers, and now I am in education. I teach at De La Salle College of St. Benilde. I'm a PMAP board of trustee. I'm a success coach, I'm a career coach, I'm a professional speaker, you name it, I do it. I'm all around because I love being of service to people. So, question that we had, how many have companies implemented a hiring freeze as a result of the current health crisis? And that's a common question that I receive because I have a lot of career coaches. Are companies still hiring now that we're all in lockdown? And is it safe? Is it the right time to apply? So statistics say, and this is from Mercer, so statistics say that the companies implemented a hiring freeze. So 37%, if you take a look at the right side, the yes, 37% said yes, they have implemented a hiring freeze as a result of COVID-19. However, on the left side, you'll see that 36% said no, but we have changed the recruitment practices to conduct virtual interviews, just exactly what Ange was mentioning earlier. On the lower right, it says yes, they have implemented a hiring freeze except for replacement hires. But on the left side, 12% said no, there are no changes to recruitment practices. I'm sure they are recruiting, but also virtually, since candidates cannot come in. So what is a candidate experience? And I won't delve into this because some of it was already mentioned by Ange. So it begins with a job search. And applicants, there are more applicants now. Some companies have indeed laid off or put people on forced leave, and there are people who are now applying. So there's job application, there's communication, you communicate with them, there's the interview process, and of course, let's not forget the feedback process, because feedback is so important to every candidate, and the onboarding. And Ange mentioned the onboarding. This is recruitment onboarding and the true onboarding of each candidate turned into an employee. So I believe we have a poll here. So Aris, can we put on the poll for this one? So for the poll, it says, what does your current recruitment tech stack look like? First one is ATS, CRM, chatbots, job boards, digital assessments, all integrated. Second one is a few of those tools, not all integrated. Third one is ATS and job boards. Fourth is ATS. And fifth is something different. So please respond to the poll and submit your response. So, what did our participants say? 39%. A few of those tools, they are not integrated. You are not alone. Many of the companies that I know and I've worked with have tools but not integrated. 31% says ATS, CRM, chatbots, job boards, digital assessments. However, they're all integrated. Some have ATS and job boards, something different, and a few, 3%, have ATS. So once again, this is so important that we know what the digital recruitment stack we have in the organization. So I am moving my slide, but it's not moving. And it's frozen. I'll stop share first, and I'll share again. Sorry about that technical difficulty. That happens. Okay, so in job search, we begin with job search. We know very well that there are so many job portals already there. You have LinkedIn, you have Facebook jobs, you have job streets, and the others there. So many of the candidates look at this, and even some who are not active candidates look at this as well. Sometimes it just pops up in their LinkedIn and is notified by a recruiter. So the candidate experience becomes different because of the social media and technology that we have in the job search, active or non-active job search. Job application. This is another one that is so important because in many cases, the job application, if you have mobile and website, may be different. And remember, if you have a mobile application for your job application, it should be short, because if it's long, if it's, it takes a long time, 10, 15 minutes to respond to, the candidate will not respond to it, especially if that candidate is mobile. No problem if they're new, but sometimes that's not the case. So it's very important that we have a candidate experience in the job application that makes it easy for them to apply. Third is communication. So how do we communicate to the candidates? How do we make sure that we are able to connect with the candidates in their job search once after they have applied? And there are various communication technology options. And you can call them on WhatsApp. There's Teams, there's Viber, there's Zoom, which is what we're using now. There is Skype, and there is FaceTime. So you can use a lot of communication technology options in communicating with the applicants. Now the interview. I won't discuss this lengthily because Ange mentioned this as well. The interview now is going to be digital, is going to be a video interview from their home. And if you are an applicant, some of the tips that we would like to relate to you, if you're the candidate or the recruiter, do a trial run before the interview. Set up your microphone, set up your background, make sure that your background is the ideal background. Set up your camera or headset and make sure that is distraction free and well lit. And just professionally. I know it's very difficult now, and I'm not in suit unlike Ange and one of our speaker, because it's summer, it's very hot, and heat index is 45. So just be dressed properly and professionally. Avoid making hand gestures. Sometimes it does distract the interviewer or even the interviewee. And again, there are quite a number of digital interviews already that is being done. I remember when I was coaching some coaches of mine who were being let go of another company, we were using HireView. So HireView is one, and they got to practice using HireView. So what is important also is after the feedback, after the interview, that you give them feedback. One of the most hated, I would say, events that candidates have is they don't know if they pass or failed. So for some of my coaches, if they ask, we practice interviewing, and I ask them, what's the last question that you will ask? Don't ask about the salary, and the usual answer would be, what's the next step? When will I hear from you? So it's very important for us employers to give feedback to the candidates, whether they pass, they failed, or they're going to the next step. Now, there are various ways in doing this. It could be automated. You could use bots. And for some that have used bots already, once a candidate failed, there's an email that goes to the candidate right away so that they know that the candidate did not pass. So it's very, very important that you inform the candidate whether they made it to on the first interview, second interview, if there's an assessment, right away, so that they won't be left hanging as well. And lastly, onboarding. And Ange mentioned onboarding as well. And here, it's not just the onboarding in recruitment. I know that there is recruitment onboarding wherein they will submit their requirements before they start start day one. It's also important that we do this onboarding recruitment seamlessly, because they might change their minds. We know for a fact in the BPO, they signed in the dotted line, but on the first day, they don't show up. There's no call, no show on the first day. So if you keep them warm and you keep this onboarding recruitment a positive experience for them, then that will make a lot of difference. I remember the time that I was hired at a company, and I was a member of the C-suite. And when I came home one day after signing the dotted line, I had flowers coming from the company. And I was so pleased, and my family was so pleased that happened, because they were saying, you haven't even joined yet, you're so welcome, which I implemented in another company that I moved to. And what we did was we sent, not email, then snail mails, cards, to accepted candidates, so that the family can see that, we value your saying yes, and we're excited to have you in the organization. So onboarding experience is important, and onboarding on the first day is also important now. Now that onboarding on the first day may happen virtually, it may not happen on site, it may happen work from home. So how do you make sure that the employee has the laptop, the email, and so on and so forth to be ready for their first day? So why does a positive candidate experience matters? Manj mentioned it already. The employer brand, 95% would apply to the company again. One of the things that I said in my team before is, if a candidate declines the offer, I'd like the candidate to come back and say, I'll come back after 3 months, I'll apply again because I had a very good candidate experience. And I want that to be said by all candidates who are qualified but who turn down the offer. Now, 97% would refer others to the company. 88% would increase their purchase with the company if you have a product to sell. And 55% would share their experience on social media. And we know how social media is nowadays, how effective social media is. So create a uniquely positive candidate experience the digital way. So embrace AI, maximize your virtual interviews, innovate, strengthen social media presence, and shorten online application forms. So I'd like to end with this. What is E plus R equals O? This is the first success principle. I'm a Cantwell certified trainer, and the most important success principle is this. Take 100% responsibility for your life. E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. The event is COVID. The event is work from home. The event is lockdown. If your response is, I'll wait until companies open up, or I will wait for the candidates for them to be interviewed face to face, you might not be able to have the outcome that you need. I know some companies who are ramping now. So the response that they had is to be able to innovate and be more creative so that they can hire more, because the outcome is what they need to fill up the reps. So mitigate the impact that you will have, utilize tools and technology, reinventing the process, re-engineering, reinventing, be more creative, and adapt to the new normal. And as Ange said, it's not a new normal, it's a new now. And always have an attitude of gratitude. So for us, this is another success principle for us. Be grateful that we're here today. Be grateful that we have food to eat. Be grateful that we are healthy. And be grateful that we are connecting with others. So always have an attitude of gratitude. So this is me. Be ready for the new you. You can get in touch with me through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, my website, and my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel because I've talked to people all around the world regarding this pandemic.
Thank you, Ms. Penny.
That's the time.
Yep. We have a very interesting question on the Q&A. Someone was asking, how can I engage? So you were talking about technology and how it could be adapted for candidate experience, but there may be some candidates who don't have access to the technology that most companies are using. So the question was, how can I engage candidates that don't have access to technology or are having problems with their current setup at home?
You know, I personally would adjust to the candidates. I would use mobile phone. I would use call, text, if that's the only thing that they have. Some of them would have Facebook Messenger because Facebook is free. So that's what I use. I can feel what's happening now because I teach in college and we were doing online teaching until March something when the school said stop online teaching. Why? Because some of our students did not have internet access. It's not because they're poor, except they may be in the province. There's no Wi-Fi connection, nothing. So what do? We have to be able to reach out to them in the way that is available to them. So if there's Facebook Messenger, do it via Facebook Messenger. If it's just call, just call. Find a way.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Penny. I think totally agree. I mean, the onus of connecting with candidates is really on the employer and not the other way around, because definitely it's, we're after the talent, so we should be the one connecting to them. Thank you. Thank you for that very insightful presentation.